Hello class, welcome to a Room 222 Photoshop tutorial. Today's project is the double exposure project. We're going to use our good friend Hugh Jackman, who I believe is very ruggedly handsome, so I'm going to combine him with the tree for nature. So that's going to be our double exposure today. And as you can see, again, we use Hugh Jackman's face and we combine it with the tree, and it kind of meshes it together. I do not like the tree that I used for this project, so I'm going to use the second one when we get into that. And you will be doing a mandatory project and a choice project with this double exposure. So let's just minimize these things and we're going to get into Photoshop. So we're going to pull open our image. Which again is Hugh Jackman. And I want to crop this down a little bit using the crop tool. Press enter. And then we're also going to open up our tree. And that is under nature. And I'm going to use the second tree. Okay, so first off, we're going to make a quick selection around the tree. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just needs to be outlined. So do the best that you can, and then we will go from there. Okay, when you are finished with your quick selection of your tree, you are then going to go to the Select tab at the top. And this is all done on the background layer. You're going to go to your Select tab at the top, and we're going to select Refine Edge. You're going to click on your view, and you're going to select On Layers. Make sure these two are unchecked. And then you're going to check Smart Radius. And we're going to bring it up to anywhere between really 35 and 65. Whatever looks the best. You don't want anything too gritty. But I like this, so I'll go around, well, mine's going to be around 57, so I'm going to go to there. I'm going to bring my contrast up to 15. Around 15%. And then my shift edge down to around negative 13%. The output is going to be a layer mask. And then I'm going to click OK. And it's going to add a layer mask to my background layer. So now what we're going to do next, and this is only if your image was created and there's like a bit of background still behind it. So for instance, using the tree, there's obviously still the sky behind it. So we're going to use these couple of steps to get rid of that. If your image doesn't have a background behind it, then you don't have to do the following parts. So to get rid of the sky, we're going to go back up to Select, and we want to make sure that we are on the tree layer icon and not the mask icon. And we're going to go to Color Range. We're going to make sure Select is under Sample Colors. We're going to make sure that these two are unselected. And we are going to use the eyedropper and click, I'm going to zoom in a little, click the areas that we want to go away. So I'm going to click this light blue. And then if I hold down the Shift key, I can add other colors. So I'm going to get rid of like the white. Let's see if there's anything else that I want to get rid of. Let's go with this darker blue over here. I think we're good. So now you want to make sure the selection is clicked, selection preview is none. And then we're going to say, oh, and then the fuzziness should be around 45%. So that's what I'm going to put it at, 46. And I'm going to say OK. And now it has all of these parts selected. So what we're going to do next is we're going to click on the mask layer icon. And then we're going to make sure our boxes are black and white down here. And again, click D for default black and white if they're not. And then the black should be in the foreground. So if you need to click X to switch them, you can. I'm going to hold down Alt, and I'm going to select the delete button. And that takes away all of that background, which is pretty darn cool. And then Control D to delete it. So if you see that there is still some background, you can always go back and remove it some more. I'm just going to let it go because I think that's fine. But you can do whatever you want. If your subject is not at the center of your canvas, you want to do that now. So Control T, and let's move it towards the center. Enter. I'm going to make this canvas maybe a little bit closer in, like that. Press Enter. There we go. So now our tree is in the center of our canvas. So next we're going to pull over our subjects. We're going to go see Hue. We're going to bring them forward, and we're going to click on the Move tool. And you can move all of your picture, so you don't have to cut them out. You can move them all over and just drop them onto the tree. And Control T, and let's move him and size him so that he's pretty much over top of this tree. Again, if you hold down Shift, you can keep the sizing. There we go, and I'm going to press Enter. Click OK. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to apply hue to the tree layer mask. And to do this, you're going to bring your cursor over here and have it hover around the layers panel. And then you're going to hold down the Alt button. And it creates this little image. And you're going to place hue in between the tree and the tree mask. So make sure your icon or your little thing is there. And then you're going to click. And he becomes part of the tree. Which again, this is pretty nifty. If you want to then move him around, you absolutely can. So do a Control T, and yeah, because I want most of his face over top of the tree versus the other way around. We're going to go to the adjustments icon, which is at the bottom next to the masking icon. So it's this little circle guy with part dark, part light. And we're going to click on the black and white option. And it's going to make him black and white. And then you're going to go to your presets and you're going to determine which one you like best for your image. So this is your presets. This should pop up. If this does not pop up, go to Window, and you might have to look for it on here, which would be adjustments. So I'm going to just go through these and see which one I like better. I'm going to go with the red filter. That way it contrasts a little bit, so his face is white, and then he has dark hair with a slightly dark background. So that's what I'm going to stick with. So next, we're then going to go to our person, go to Hue, and we're going to double click and open up blending options. And we're going to change the underlying layers. Remember again, if you want to end up moving this person around, you can if you don't like where he's at. So what I'm going to do is we're going to bring forth the tree from behind and put it over his face. So we're going to use that with this option down here. You're going to hold down Alt, and then you're going to move this so that the tree comes forward. So I'm going to stick with this. You don't have to click anything else, and then you're going to say OK. And again, I might just move him slightly, just to see. Control T, transform, to see what might look a little bit better. Okay. Feel free to do that as often as you need to see what makes your picture look the best. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make a new layer, and we're going to add it to the bottom and add white to it just to make a general white background. Use your paint bucket tool and just click. Now we have something behind here to work with. So the next we are going to make a duplicate layer of our person. Do Control J. And we're going to double click and we're going to remove these things. And it's just going to bring it back to full blown. And we're going to say OK. And we're going to make a selection of his skin. So go to our quick selection tool. And we're just going to select around here. And now I'm going to click the masking tool. It's going to create that. And I'm going to use the gradient. We want to make sure black is in the foreground. And we're going to just click over. And again, this is going to bring the tree into hue. Now again, to get rid of some of the tree, we're going to go back to our brush tool. And we're just going to get rid of some of these unwanted areas. Okay, I like that. So that's what we're going to start with. And again, if we want to adjust the gradient even some more, we can do so. And so next, if we want to change or add color, a little color to this, we're going to be on our black and white layer. And we're going to go down to adjustments. And we're going to select something called photo filter. And this will give it, you can go down through a variety of these. Kind of like this yellow. So I'm going to go with yellow. And then I'm going to adjust this canvas a little. So that way it's not so awkward. There, that looks much better. I also want to adjust the color a little bit more. So to do that, if you click on the black and white layer, you can, change it to a soft light, which that looks pretty great. Or what you can do is, well, you can try any of these if you want. Or you can adjust the opacity, and you can bring down the opacity some. And then if you wanted to try the soft light with it, you could. And then as you can see here, if you want to get rid of a little bit more of this that's kind of shouldn't be there, you absolutely can. Okay, and then you have your ending product. If you wanted to, also, you can adjust the opacity from there even by doing Control and then selecting your layers and then grouping them together by clicking the folder down here and then adjust those from there. So if you wanted to give it a little bit more of a exposed look. And then that is your final product. And when you're done, you're going to do File, Save As. And I do suggest how I add the extra crop. I would do that just to make your image look a little bit more better. It doesn't quite look like it's just in the middle of nowhere. And you're going to go to your finished projects folder. And this is called double exposure. You again will do a mandatory one of Hugh Jackman. And then you will do a choice one of your own. And that could be of any person, and it could be of any object that you are combining it with. And again, save it as your name, as a JPEG. If you have any questions, as of always, let me know. Alright, off you go.